everybody, this is Matthew Movies coming at you with my review of Dawn of the Dead, the 1978 George Romero zombie film that to this day is my favorite zombie movie of all time. I think this movie has everything going for it from a zombie perspective. I mean, it has some really great gore. I mean, it's not necessarily aged the best. It gets very, very silly looking at times, but for its era, it was very much on par with the visuals, and it also has a lot of very entertaining characters and a concept that I think is absolutely stupendous, and just it continues a franchise. I mean, I don't know what you could be looking for in a zombie movie unless you're looking for more realistic effects, but then you're not going to probably like any of the classics, and I can't get into that. But other than that, I don't know what you could possibly look for in a zombie movie this one doesn't have. For those of you who don't know what this movie is about, it is the sequel to, or not necessarily the sequel, but the next movie in the Night of the Living Dead franchise. It doesn't have any of the characters of the previous film, but it takes place in the same world. And in this movie, you get introduced to a group of people who end up trying to escape the zombie apocalypse, and they decide that the best way to do it is to go and hole up in a shopping mall. And I think it's just absolutely genius. I mean, especially depending on the area that you're in, but I mean, the mall is going to have so many of the things that you're going to need to survive, between food and weapons and the whole nine, and things to entertain yourself, because you don't know how long this zombie apocalypse is going to go on. I mean, I think it's a brilliant idea, and who among us hasn't spent hours on end in a mall, and just the whole idea of that I think is great. And I love the way that their location makes it so that there are sequences in the middle where it almost feels like the zombie apocalypse is all missing, but it's always the through line of everything. It's always the underlining motivation of everything you're seeing. I think that's great. I love so many of the characters. I mean, you have a character that is played by an actor by the name of Ken Foray, I believe is how you pronounce that. Don't quote me on that, but I mean, I think he does a great job. For me, he's always been the main character, and by far the most interesting one, and he has the line to end all lines in zombie movies, where they're talking about the zombie apocalypse, and he says that the reason why it's happened is that when hell is filled, the dead will walk the earth. I mean, I think it's just such a brilliant idea, and it's so freaky and awesome, and gives it's one of the major moments that gives this movie a deeper meaning. It's not just, reveling in the violence or anything like that. I mean, I think the whole concept overall does that as well, the whole idea of the mall and all that, but I mean, I think it really encapsulates an idea and a way of looking at a zombie film, or giving it a deeper and more profound meaning. And you could say it's a throwaway line, but I feel like the exact opposite is true. It gives a whole lot of meaning to the film that really is encapsulated in the rest of the movie, and how things play out, and basically the baser motivation and animal instincts of humanity. I think it all plays into all of it. I think it's just a great line. And then you have the female lead, who, I mean, unfortunately is the only really female lead character in the film. It's an actress by the name of, I'm looking it up here because I couldn't remember, but Galen Ross, and she plays Fran, and unfortunately, I'll say this, I do feel like to a certain degree she's just kind of there as the character everybody depends on. She has a very motherly role to the other characters, which I do feel is a little bit weak, and is only that case because of her gender. But I also feel like she's also in every other regard a well-written character, and somebody you feel very protective of throughout the film, but also you feel like is very able to fend for herself, and resourceful, and a very, for the most part, well-written character, and somebody whose affections you could really understand the people around her wanting to get. And then you have Stephen Flyboy Andrews, which, I mean, Flyboy is what grown man would ever want to call himself Flyboy, but whatever. I mean, he's the pilot of the group. He's the one that makes it possible for them to go into the mall, and I think he has one of the more interesting character endings of any horror film I've ever seen. And I'm not going to go into it because it's a major spoiler, but that's really the way his character plays out is very cool, and a major reason why I enjoy this movie as well. And then you have the Trooper, Roger Trooper DeMarco, and again, he's another character who you really find interesting, and fairly early on in the film. He gets injured and he has to kind of be dragged around in a buggy and all that stuff. But even despite that, he's also somebody not to be trifled with, and he's pretty adept at defending himself. And that's another thing about this movie. I mean, one of the best parts of the movie is when they initially get to the mall where it's all overrun by zombies, and their efforts to empty the building out, I think is really really cool. The way that they kind of had that all play out. I mean, between the shooting them and corralling them and all that stuff, it's you can really tell that this movie was very very much thought out, and all the moments were kind of they really put a lot of thought into them to make them make sense. And then you have a cameo by Tom Savini in this movie, which I think, I mean, I always enjoy seeing that guy on film. I mean, he's been in so many great flicks and directed a few himself, and having him show up in the latter part of the movie is just something that puts a big smile on my face. So those are my thoughts on Dawn of the Dead. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. If you're a fan, if you agree with me that it's the best zombie movie of all time, if you think others are better, whatever. Other than that, please hit that like button, hit that share button. It makes it much more likely that other people will come check out this video and let me know what they think too, which is something I would absolutely love, because I love talking to people about film. And if you are one of those people that are new to this channel or you just haven't done it yet, please hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you can find out when I put out a new video and check it out and give me some feedback. Other than that, have yourself a good day.